We've made it. It is the last day of 2020, a year that has felt like a decade, one of the most trying years of, you know, a generation. And I don't think any of us would have made it through without the love and support of our friends and family throughout this year. So I just want to say thank you so much, especially to the whiskey friends, the whiskey fabric, my friends and family throughout the international network of whiskey lovers who have kept me entertained, occupied, and frankly employed throughout 2020. My heartfelt gratitude goes out to all of you, and this is a wonderful way to finish off the year. So, speaking of friendship, I should mention, I'm representing the Strath in post whiskey things that I do, but I'm not, I'm not the Strath. I am my own person, and I don't always represent the Strath. I sometimes represent whiskey in general. I sometimes even represent specific brands or maybe even other stores. And speaking of other stores, the Strath is a fantastic whiskey store, don't get me wrong, but we are lucky enough to be in a country which has many fantastic whiskey stores, and one of whom is also a great friend of mine runs it, Andrew Ferguson over at Kingston Wine Market. I unfortunately haven't seen you at all since the Victoria Whiskey Festival, Andrew, and I don't know if you'll be watching this or not, but if you are, it's been far too long. Hopefully we'll catch up again soon. And this is actually a Kensington Wine Market bottling, which we've actually been lucky enough at the Strath to have a couple of Kensington Wine Market bottlings. This is not one of them. This is something which is so unique, so rare, and so beautiful. And I've been looking for an excuse to open this ever since I got it. And actually, I've had a few thoughts of what I should do with this whiskey. Most of them involve like big celebrations, and I think surviving 2020 is deserving of this whiskey. Because, hopefully those of you who have already tried it now from our little 12 drams till 2021 sharing club, hopefully some of you have enjoyed this one. Hopefully some of you have already left your tasting notes in the comments below. I am anxiously awaiting its flavors. This is a special whiskey. This was distilled in 1960. Yeah. 28 years before I was born, which is mad for me. This is actually, funnily enough, this is actually older than myself and my girlfriend Kristen combined. And actually, I should mention a huge thank you to Kristen. I couldn't have got through this year without your love and support. Hopefully, we're watching this video together. And yeah, I can't believe I'm about to do this. This is Gordon MacPhail's 1960 Strathisla single cask from Kensington Wine Market. And I think this is actually the very first single cask that Andrew got at Kensington, which is fitting because we've just released our first single malt, the cask strength Glenfarclas as well, this year, just a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, it's fitting that we get to celebrate one of Andrew's early achievements as well. This is just beautiful, though, isn't it? Look at that. It's in a wooden presentation case. It's got a scroll. Let's read the scroll. I don't read enough scrolls online. Whoa. Blimey, the bottle almost fell out. That would have been a great video. Adam destroys a priceless whiskey live on YouTube. Nice Kensington Wine Market scroll there. Gordon and MacPhail Cask Strength Strathisla 1960, 46-year-old. So this was bottled a few years ago now. Bottled exclusively for the Kensington Wine Market. When Strathisla was established in 1776 by Alexander Milne and George Taylor, it was opened under the name Milltown, shortened within a very short time to Milton. Although the whiskey would always be known as Strathisla, the distillery itself didn't first take this name until 1870. In 1890, the distillery's name was changed back to Milton, only reverting to Strathisla again in 1951, a year after it was bought out and refurbished by the Chivas brothers. Since the Chivas brothers' purchase, Strathisla single malt has been at the heart of Chivas Regal Blend. Strathisla is the oldest working distillery in Speyside, and one of the oldest in both Scotland and the world. One of the most scenic and beautiful distilleries in Scotland, Strathisla has managed to maintain its classic appearance, including its iconic pagoda roofs, even after suffering the devastating fire of 1876 and the 1879 dust explosion in the malt mill. And actually on that's Strathisla right there, actually. Oh, the bottle's in the way. That's Strathisla right there. It's so beautiful, I put it on the wall. Gordon MacPhail, established in 1895 in Elgin, is the oldest independent bottler in Scotland. One of the oldest independent bottlers in Scotland. Originally conceived as both a grocer and a retailer of wine and whiskey, Gordon MacPhail have been bottling and marketing single malt whiskey since the late 1800s. Today, Gordon MacPhail is recognised as the world's preeminent independent bottler, with more than 10,000 casks in their possession. They still operate their store in Elgin, which carries more than 800 different single malts. This 46-year-old bottling of Strathisla from cask 2543 was carefully selected from Gordon MacPhail's extensive collections as a private bottling for Kensington Wine Market by Scotch guy Andrew Ferguson. It is, to our knowledge, the oldest private bottling sold to North America. Cool. The whiskey is exceptional at its age for its complexity and strength. It is very rare for a whiskey to mature 40 or more years in oak without being dominated by the wood, and it's rarer still for a whiskey to maintain its strength of 58.2 after nearly 5 decades. Matured in a refill European sherry hogshead and filled at natural cask strength, yours is one of only 179 bottles of its kind. It is a very rare and special whiskey, and we hope you treasure it. Slasher. Signed by Andrew Ferguson at Kensington Wine Market. Number 167 of 179. Oh, I've got goosebumps. All right. I have a feeling the cork might break. For those of you who've been following along the series of these 12 whiskies, the cork has broken on 3 of them so far. Distilled on the 11th of November, 1960. Bottled on the 13th of June, 2007, from the Speyside region. Oh my. Can only do it once. Let's rip the band-aid off. Here we go. The lid's off. The cork is broken. I'll be back with you soon. Okay, managed to get the cork out. A little bit of breakage. There's a couple of tiny flecks of cork in there that I'll cheesecloth out shortly as I divide this bottle amongst the lucky friends who are going to try this alongside me. But yeah, I think it's time. It's time to try it. 1960. That's actually 2 years after my mum was born. Very much deserving of the 2020 Victoria Whisky Festival Crystal Glencairn. And actually on that, the sad news, of course, is broken by now to everyone. The Victoria Whisky Festival has been cancelled for 2021. So yeah, my heartfelt thanks, though, to the entire committee, of course, especially Lawrence and Ian, the founders, who have put in a huge amount of effort to try and get the festival going. But the fates were not in your favour this year, unfortunately, but we'll all get back together, I'm sure, in hopefully in 2022, if not 2023. And yeah, safety first. It's just ridiculously dark, isn't it? I haven't seen a whiskey this dark since the Cavalin Solist that we had a couple of years ago that was this dark. That is insane. Apparently there's about 46 years in a sherry cask does. Oh, wow. That is deep and dark and leathery. That is a whole lot of dried fruit and leather. I don't think my initial notes are really going to do this whiskey justice. Please do check out the full tasting notes in the comments below, from myself and from other people who are being this bottle is being shared with. Yep. This is such a special treat. Dark chocolate, burnt toffee, coffee, stewed raisins, dry grass. The flavors are about as deep, dark, and complex as the color is. A little touch of licorice. That is, without a shadow of a doubt, the most unique, special experience in whiskey I've had, potentially ever. I had high hopes for this whiskey, not only for the fact that it was distilled in 1960, not only for the fact that it was hand-selected by Andrew at Kensington Wine Market, not only for the fact that it was matured for its entire time in a sherry hogshead, but for the fact that it's a Strathisla as well. Because I've yet to be disappointed, I think, by a Strathisla. It's a distillery which has been very, very good to me. Consistently great whiskey coming out of Strathisla. And apparently they've been making whiskey for a very long time, and have been making very good whiskey for a very long time. Well, there are but 6 hours left of the year. We've made it this far. Hopefully we'll make it the whole way. It'd be pretty tragic now if we don't. It has been a huge honor to be part of the whiskey community in 2020. Like I said, I think a lot of people would have found this year to be even harder than it was without the love and support of the various communities they're part of, and the whiskey community has been incredibly good to me. Thank you to everyone who's been involved with all of the various creative projects that we've been doing throughout the year. Thank you to everyone at the Strath for supporting everything I do. Thank you to Lawrence and Frank and Ian and everyone at the festival. Thank you to everyone watching along to all of these crazy videos. At the beginning of the year, I did not know that I would be apparently putting videos up on YouTube. I've put like 45 hours worth of me talking about whiskey on YouTube, and people keep watching it, and I'm forever amazed at that. So thank you to everyone who's been joining in on that. Thank you to everyone who came to the in-person tastings that we were able to do earlier this year. And thank you to all of the friends and family who I unfortunately haven't seen this year. And thank you to all of the friends and family who I haven't had time to actually be in contact with this year as well. I love and appreciate all of you, and I'm going to put a special effort in the new year that's my New Year's resolution. Both, is to be a better pen friend to all of my friends and family who I'm not able to see, not only because of COVID restrictions right now. Like, I haven't seen Emily DeCourt in so long. I'm sorry, Emily. I haven't even spoken to you in quite a while. You sent me a message a couple of days ago, and I haven't replied to it yet, and I feel so bad about that. So I will be better at that. There's a whole heap of people, both in town and internationally, that I need to be a better friend to. So, but as is tradition at New Year's, auld lang syne, right? To old acquaintance, should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to light? No, old friends should never be forgot. And thank you to all of my friends for getting me through the year. And All lang syne. I'll see you in 2021.